Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Connor Steinberg here. Today's question comes from Michael D. From Schertz, Texas, I believe is how you say it. Not trying to insult anybody if they're from the city. Not quite sure where it's at. I am from Texas, but Texas is more like a big country and not really a state. So I hope I pronounced that right and didn't insult anybody from Schertz, Texas. So, Michael, buddy, this question is from you, so hopefully I do a good job answering it for you and it can help you going forward. And guys, Michael wants to know about door knocking, right? Door knocking pre-foreclosures, because this is a very common strategy taught by investment companies that are education companies, right? And it's been in circulation for a long time as one of the top strategies to do. Now, right now, as the market's really hot, there's not a lot of foreclosures, so that means there's less foreclosures on the list, which means there's more competition. So we'll get into a couple reasons why, Michael, I don't really like this strategy, especially for new investors. And you may or may not like my answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth as far as because I want you to be successful and I want you to go out there and find deals, and I'm going to kind of point out why I think this is not a strategy for a lot of you right now and why your time is best being spent on a different strategy because you're going to make more money doing so, which is why you're in the business in the first place. But let's talk about scripts here for a second. Now, I know you're not going to take a script and go up to a homeowner's house and like knock on the door and be like, Mr. Homeowner, and read from the script, right? Because that would make no sense. But a lot of y'all are doing this over the phone. And the phone is the most important part of your business because that's what connects you to the world, right? And a lot of y'all are reading a script. You'll pay 50 grand to go through some of these big training companies and they give you all these different scripts. The biggest mistake you can make is read from a script. Every day I have someone call me pretty much and I can tell they're reading off a script. And the first thing that goes through my mind is this. I'm talking to an individual that just got out of a weekend seminar. I'm talking to a brand new investor, and my likelihood of doing business with this individual is almost zero, right? So when you go out there and do some of these strategies that these people are teaching, they're teaching you to contact individuals whose information is out there public online at the top of the search engines, right? Who are these individuals in your marketplace? The most successful, most advanced companies in your area. So the low-hanging fruit, yeah, they're easy to find, but they're easy to find because they're good at what they do, so you can find them easily. So these are more advanced investors. If you read from a script, you're exposing yourself as being brand new and you're basically destroying your chance of working with these individuals. So guys, what you need to do is learn your 30-second elevator speech as you hear it called. What do I call it? I call it learned repetition, because what we're doing is we're going over the information over and over and over. So take one of those scripts that you have, go over it and over it until it's basically downloaded into your subconscious so you can recall it at any time and apply it in a conversational in the normal way a conversation would go down, right? You don't want to seem like a robot reading. You want to seem like it's a normal conversation the way that it would happen really in real life. So I hope that helps, guys. Stop reading for scripts, learn what to say, and kind of learn how to present it in a professional manner on the fly. So let's talk about this strategy here. Knocking on pre-foreclosures, you're going to get deals doing it, and it's being taught because you can do deals. But you got to do it right. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and exactly what I say, or what I have my employees say, or individuals that we hire to go do this, because it's going to increase your likelihood of getting the deal. So let's first talk about the whole process, right? Number one, dress appropriately, guys. This is sales 101. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if you look like someone that they're not willing to, if you look like someone that's not trustworthy, is basically what I'm trying to say, you're not going to get that deal. Don't go up in like sweatpants and flip-flops. Don't go up in saggy jeans. Don't go up with jeans with holes in them. Don't go up there with a shirt where you spill ice cream on it. Dress professionally, right? We're buying houses. Present yourself as someone who has the money and the ability to buy a house. Dress in slacks and a polo shirt or a button-down shirt, right? Now, I don't mean go out and get in a nice suit, button-down suit with a tie and everything. Like, that'd be ridiculous. But dress professionally. We're out there looking to buy people's houses, and we're also not looking to intimidate people out there. So dress appropriately, and it's going to help you increase your conversions, right? So what do we do next? We go knock on the door. As soon as you knock on the door, step back off the door. Back off 6 to 8 feet. Why? Because this is 2017, guys, and unfortunately the world is scared. We live in a frightened society. People are panicked about everything. They look at their shadow and they, panic, right? They're scared of everything. So when a random person, especially a random gentleman, walks up to their house, they don't know why you're there. They're like, I didn't call this person. Why is this person at my house, right? And so they're starting to freak out. They're going to crawl upstairs and look through the blinds, look down at you. They're going to peek through the peephole. You may get a response where they talk through the door. And you need to be able to come across less threatening. That's why you dress professional, and that's why you stand away from the door. So if they don't answer the door the first time you knock, follow up, right? We always talk about big money in the follow-up. You're going to follow up on your mail campaigns. Why do you not follow up on your knocking campaign? You spend all this time and energy to get out in the street at this house, so you may as well knock again and knock again and knock again. I would knock 5 or 6 times because as far as the psychology behind it, that person's probably sitting inside being quiet, trying not to make any noise. Literally, they're sitting inside hoping you just walk away. If you knock again, they're still going to do the same thing. Most people knock once or twice and leave. If you knock 4 times, the shift in their thought process starts to go like this. Oh my gosh, this guy keeps knocking. He must really need something. What if his car broke down? Or what if he really needs to talk to me for something? What if something's wrong, right? And they start going down different thought processes because nobody just sits there and knocks, right? Most people knock and leave. So a lot of times they'll answer the door after the 4th or 5th time you knock on it. So just kind of keep knocking, and if they don't, then you can leave. So let's say what happens, what are we going to do when they answer the door, right? So we stand back, we come at them non-threatening. I usually have my hands behind my back, right? Fold them behind my back. It's even a less threatening stance. And here's exactly what I say. And guys, watch this video a couple times and go rehearse it so you have it and you kind of learn it through repetition so you can know what to say as you get out there. And after one day of doing this, guys, you're going to understand how to say it and you're going to be pros at it anyways, right? But so what do? When they open the door. Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, how are you doing? My name is Connor Steinberg. I heard that someone's trying to sell their house in this neighborhood. My family and I have been looking for a house to buy in this neighborhood for a very long time, and we're looking to move ASAP. We're trying to get into a house quickly. We have all cash that we can buy this house, and we're even willing to pay your closing costs. I didn't know if by chance that you were trying to sell your house. Now, if it's not you and you're not trying to sell your house, do you know anybody in this neighborhood that would be trying to sell their house? I'd be very thankful and grateful for this information. So, I know that's very simple and it's very short, but it had a lot of different hit points, right? A lot of different points that are going to really trigger the reaction that you want. So number 1, what are we talking about? Well, we're presenting ourselves as a homeowner, an owner-occupant, right? Because believe it or not, guys, investors, we just don't have a very good reputation in the community, just like lawyers don't. Why? Because a lot of you are not closing on deals, a lot of you are misrepresenting what you're doing, and a lot of people have let down people in our community. So a lot of them have had a bad experience or know someone that has had a bad experience. So we want to come off as an owner-occupant. Now, if they ask, yes, we are going to be buying the house as an investment. We're not trying to hide it. We just don't want to let them know right away, right? We want them to think, hey, my family and I are going to move into this house. And if I do buy the house, my family and I are looking for a house to buy in that neighborhood. So it's just giving you a better approach to do so, right? So we go about it that way. And also at the same time, we go ahead and say the same type of terminology. We can close quickly and we have cash the same way you would as if you were an investor. Now, how does a normal investor approach this property? Hey, Mrs. So-and-so, my name is Connor. I'm looking to buy this house. I'm an investor. I pay all cash. Right then and there, the difference between the two, one puts someone off on the defensive. Oh no, this greedy investor's here. Well, I come in, hey, look, my family and I could possibly be living in this house, and so I'm not so threatening. And who are they going to sell the house to? Someone who they think is going to live in there and have a nice family for them and for themselves going forward, who may be wanting to move in for a school district, or do they want to sell it to some greedy landlord that's going to come rent that house next to their friends and family that live in that neighborhood that they've known for 20 years? Another thing, guys, don't ever tell people you're going to rent the house. It's the worst thing you can tell someone. Most people do not want to sell their house to a landlord. Tell them you're going to sell it to an owner finance buyer. And what I tell them is, I'm like, look, Mrs. Homeowner, I want to buy your house, and what I do is I help individuals get into new houses that the banks won't work with. So I help people become homeowners, have the pride of homeownership, right? So I tell them I'm going to sell it to someone who's going to buy it on owner financing that the banks won't work with because they had a medical condition or whatever happened that hurt their credit, and the banks are looking at them not on a human level, but that's what I do. I sit there face to face and I look at them in person, and I help these people get into homeownership. And that's a lot better than saying, I'm a dirty landlord and I'm going to rent this house, and those people that you knew for 20 years are going to have to deal with my tenants. So go ahead and look at it like that. So I let them think I'm an owner-occupant, tell them I pay cash, but the really important thing at the end is this. If you're not the one looking to sell your house, do you know someone in the neighborhood that is? And so this is why you build a good rapport with them and treat them with respect and try to come off less threatening, because they could be referring you to their neighbor that they knew for 20 years that was about to sell their house, right? Because most of the houses you're going to buy from door knocking are not going to come from that person you're knocking on the house. It's going to come from someone that they know, even though you're knocking on a pre-foreclosure list. It just seems to be that way in our experience. So we're looking for sales 101. Get referrals from our current prospects. So that's what we're trying to do there. So guys, that's kind of how we handle it. Go in, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I'm looking for a house to buy in this neighborhood for me and my family. We have all cash, we can close quickly. And if you're not the one that's looking to sell your house, do you know anybody that is? So now that all being said, and that's kind of how we handle that, I want to talk about this whole process in the first place. So guys, a lot of you watching this channel are new investors, and I highly want to discourage you from going after pre-foreclosures. Now I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that, but this is not a strategy that's going to be safe for a lot of homeowners. Now, I know that you're wanting to get deals done, change your life, but at the same time, you don't want to negatively change the life of someone that you're working with. And every month, I have individuals contact me because I'm a big wholesaler as far as one of my companies that I run here is not my acquisition company, but my wholesale company. People in Dallas bring me deals to sell for them. And constantly, I see this. Someone tied up someone's house for 30 or even 60 days who is in the foreclosure process, right? And what happens is, they go out there and they're brand new in the business, they don't have a buyer's list, they don't know how to sell it, and they can't sell it, or they had the house tied up at a number that could never have been sold in the first place, and they're desperate to make a check for themselves, and they're not thinking about the human level of the business. They're not thinking, what happens if I don't sell this house for this individual? I went in, I represented that I'm going to buy the house because I think I'm going to make money on it, and I told them I'm going to buy the house, and I'm going to save them for foreclosure, and I'm going to give them part of their equity. So what happens if they have 40 grand in equity? And you're like, I'm going to give you $10,000 or whatever it is. So they think they're going to get part of their equity and be safe from having their credit destroyed and having their future destroyed by going through foreclosure. And you tie up that house for 30 days and you try to sell it for 28 days and you fail. And then on the last 2 days you contact me, this is a real example that happens to me over and over and over. And it breaks my heart every time because these individuals come to me, they're new wholesaler, and they're just trying to change their life as well. They're just trying to be successful. But guys, you have to learn that this is real life, right? And if you don't sell that house, that person, they go through foreclosure and they lose that house and you just messed up the next decade of their life, right? So a lot of times these individuals go out there and fail and they can't do anything about it, and these people have no time to go find another buyer. So if you're doing this, make sure they have plenty of time that if you can't sell that house, you can let someone else step in and do so for you because you don't want to put this homeowner in jeopardy. So this is why I don't like this strategy for new investors. And even when I do this strategy, if I'm going to wholesale one of these houses, I make sure that I have the ability to close on the house if I can't find a buyer, and I will close on that house. I will never let someone go through foreclosure. That is just a rule of mine. And this is why this is a strategy for more advanced investors, and it's something that's risky for you to do as far as on the human element for homeowners that you're going to be working with. So at least make sure, or what you could do is you could go bring one of your buyers, because a lot of y'all have your buyers that you know closely, with you to the property when you're doing the contract and assign it to them right after you put the contract into place, which I do commonly for properties. I bring a buyer with me that I know. I'm like, hey, look, we're going to this house. I think it's one you want. Come with me. We go and they watch me negotiate the deal, and I sign the assignment contract in the car. So I'm bringing my buyer then and there, right? So guys, I hope that helps. I hope you get the little twist on it, kind of come at it from a different angle. Don't seem like that greedy investor. Seem like an innocent owner-occupant buyer. You're still representing that you're going to pay cash and close quickly, and also try to get that kicker in there. Do you have a referral for me? Because that's sales 101. And guys, also if you're brand new, make sure you have a strong buyers list. Don't tie someone's house up. Make sure you know the date that they're going to lose the property where it's going up for auction, because you don't want to put someone in a position where if you fail, you really let down a family, and you can kind of really mess up the trajectory of that family line for that specific case for them for a long time to come. So I hope that helps, guys. I hope I answered your question, Michael. And if you have any more questions, send them on in. I'll see you on the next video.